kitchen, bath, or other room. I'm Ron Hall. If you can dream it, Farrah Construction can turn it into reality. Call Farrah Construction at 615-893-6120. Shop local. Let our family business help you. Farrah Construction Company.
All That's News, your afternoon local news, traffic, and weather update with Matt Lane. Weekday afternoons, 4:40 until all sports talk on News Radio WGNS. Overnight, Good Neighbor Talk turns to UFOs, aliens, the unknown. It's Coast to Coast AM overnight every night on WGNS Murfreesboro.
This segment has been sponsored by the local Edward Jones office of Lee Colvin. The host of this show and Edward Jones have an existing business relationship. This event is not a testimonial of the services provided by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin.
Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Don't forget the lighting of the downtown Christmas tree in Murfreesboro Friday, 5:30. Powered by MTE. Sponsored by MTE. It's in front of the courthouse. See you at the family-friendly event that ushers in the holiday season, 5:30 Friday. And if you can't make it, watch it on Big G TV live on YouTube, Facebook, and X, which is where you can also watch many of our local shows, including this Rutherford Issues segment with Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, who is joining us here today. We're not talking turkey anymore. It's Christmas time, Mr. Colvin. Good morning.
You don't have any more leftovers, Brian?
No, leftovers are gone.
Come on, buddy.
All gone.
Oh, boy.
No more turkey.
Uh-oh. That can be bad.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Did you come in?
I was planning on coming over tonight, you know?
Were you now?
Finish that off with you.
No, we devoured those. So I trust that you had a good Thanksgiving and ready
it was hard still, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Well, it's always good to be with family and during this time, and it's different at the Barrett household too. So, we just get through.
Absolutely.
But Christmas time is around the corner, and I mentioned earlier before you got here that we're approaching the end of the year too. So that's a big time for you guys as well, right?
It's definitely a big time. We talked, I guess, 2 weeks ago about RMDs, and it's a big time for that for folks. So again, if you haven't thought about those, remember those. Mm-hmm. Call your advisor if you haven't heard from us, although most of us are probably reaching out to you right now anyway. But, to your point, it's the end of the year, so this is when we start talking about life's goals. And as we go through life, Brian, focusing on various financial goals and how to achieve those, and what you'll actually need to do to invest, but just recognizing the need to invest. It's not always as useful as matching specific types of accounts or investments with a specific goal. So don't just say, okay, I've got this big bucket. It's going to reach everything.
Right.
Well, yeah, maybe not. Right. So how can you make the connection between the investment accounts that you have and the goals that you're trying to achieve? Because sometimes that's where we find folks getting stuck. There's a disconnect there, and we're trying to walk through that with them.
So we're going to look at some common goals and how they could possibly be met with appropriate accounts and investments and things like that today.
Absolutely.
With Lee. And some of the things we're going to look at, saving for a down payment on a house, saving for a child's education, and saving for retirement. Some specific buckets, if you will, using Lee's analogy. So let's talk about saving for a down payment or a house first. Somebody's already calling about, saving for a down payment or a house. I can tell already.
Apparently. I'm sorry. I thought that was on mute today.
That's okay. You're a busy guy.
They're getting excited.
Let's talk about the first point here.
So, discussing that down payment for a house, and obviously that's been a big issue this year as rates have been rising, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're saving for a down payment, you want to have a certain amount of money available at a certain time. So for this goal, you don't want to take too much risk with those dollars. Consequently, you might consider investing in CDs, or what's called certificates of deposit, which will pay you regular interest payments and return your principal when the CDs mature. Having that, Brian, you're actually being issued a CD in a range of maturities, maybe from 1 month to 10 years. There are also other vehicles that you might consider, such as money market accounts or other cash equivalent products that are out there and available. Okay.
You get with your financial advisor to talk about some of those possibilities there. And we're talking about, do your investments match your goals here today? We talked about saving for a down payment on a house. Let's talk about saving for a child's education next.
If you have children, you'd like to help them pay for some form of higher education. It's funny. I heard somebody talking about daycare, saying right now it feels like people are signing up for the daycare before they even get pregnant. The need is just so high in demand right now, right? And the same for education and having that planning for the child's education. So as you're trying to help them pay for some form of higher education, you may want to consider a 529 education savings plan. Any earnings growth in a 529 plan, Brian, is federally tax-free, provided that the withdrawals are used for qualified education expenses, and you may also receive state tax benefits depending on the state that you're in and the program that you use. A 529 plan can be used for college, approved trade school programs, student loan repayments, and actually even some K through 12 costs can be used out of that 529 plan. Also, if the child you have has been named as a beneficiary and they choose not to continue their education, and let's say that they don't need the money in a 529, then you can generally switch beneficiaries to another immediate family member. So, that can be a big part too, is the money just doesn't get stuck. It may be able to get passed from one family member to another to still be used for good benefits.
All right. So, we've talked about saving for a down payment on a house and saving for your child's education. Those are things that may be for you or for someone else. But now let's talk about, let's be personal. Let's talk about yourself. You're saving for your retirement.
Don't we like this one?
Yeah.
We like this one. So, this is one of those goals that will remain consistent throughout your working years. After all, Brian, you could spend 2 or even 3 decades in retirement. 20 to 30 years. You've been working how long so far?
It feels like a millennium.
See? You're so old.
I am.
But, as you work through those decades in retirement or for retirement, you'll need to accumulate as many financial resources as you can to pay for those years. Fortunately, you likely have access to several good retirement savings vehicles. If you work for a business, you might have a 401k plan, which offers you the chance to put money away on a tax-deferred basis. If you have a Roth option in your 401k, then your withdrawals can be tax-free, although unlike a traditional 401k, your contributions won't lower your taxable income. So you do just want to be aware of all the factors involved here. Also, Brian, if you work for, let's say, a public school or a nonprofit organization, you may be able to participate in a 403b plan, which is similar to a 401k. And the same can still be true if you work for the state or maybe a local government, where you might have a 457B plan. Also, if you invest in any of these plans, you can probably also contribute to an IRA, which gives you another chance to invest on a tax-deferred basis or a tax-free basis, depending on the situation for you, and if you're eligible for a Roth IRA.
Okay.
So a lot of different things there, but it's really all about trying to take full advantage of whatever retirement plans are available, what other investment choices can be possible for you and your family situation.
Lee, any final thoughts here as we wrap up?
I guess if I had a final point, I would say keep in mind, please keep in mind that, while some investments and accounts are appropriate for certain goals, they may not necessarily be suitable for your individual situation.
Mm-hmm.
So keep all of your options in mind and take the steps that are right for you. So I say that to say, because your friend, your coworker, your neighbor, your family member did something, give us a call. Let's talk about it. Let's see if that's the right option for you. Let's see if there may be a better option to fit your individual and family's needs.
If someone would like to discuss this with you or any of the Edward Jones professionals here in the area, I'm sure that you could help guide them in the proper direction to continue discussions too.
Brian, we're always willing to help and try to find the right solution for everyone. Folks can give us a call at my office at 615-907-7056. Again, that's 615-907-7056. We'd be more than happy to talk to you, ask some preliminary questions to see what your needs really are, and try to get you with the right individual here in the local community for you.
Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin joining us today on Rutherford Issues.
Hello friends, Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home. More than I can count, we have taken care of families who were totally caught off guard with the passing of a